Welcome back to the Hobby Chop Podcast, the podcast for the people. I am Big Ken. He is Zip. Zip, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. I got to say something real quick. This last week in fantasy football, I'm in 9 leagues, right?
Yeah.
I won in every single league.
Oh wow, that's
That's like
unheard
a
of.
crazy, yeah, it's a crazy parlay. So there'll be few weeks like that. So take it.
I'm always like a 50%er, but I can't be
I mean,
this
that's how
year.
it should be. Like
I can't be this year. I'm in 5 leagues, so I'm either 3-2 or 2-3, which is better than being 0-5, right? So
it's gonna be 9-0. That's, I mean, to be fair, 2 of them were guillotine leagues, so winning is just not being last.
yeah.
But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, our 2 Hobby Chop leagues are going well. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody said, and it's funny. I'm going to start out with that. We've got all. It's funny. We sit here and we talk. We get this whole thing ready, and then we hit play, and then it goes off in its own direction. Like we go down a whole other street. I got a phone call from Michael this morning, who is he's in our redraft league. And he was his first time doing it, right? And so excited.
He almost put up 200 points in a standard like team. It was ridiculous.
And he got a win, and he was super excited. And I thought to myself, then that's what it's all about, right? I mean, we're all like, people are so uptight, like, oh, we got to win. And all of a sudden you got to call and be like, I got my first W, kid. This is awesome. I love this. And I'm like, that's what it used to be like. Now it's like crazed.
And for anyone wondering, yes, that's the same Michael that cursed Caitlin Clark. So, it's not going great on that curse there, Michael. So congrats on your win.
Yeah, and then she's out for the season. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, my auto got paid for.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know. Like, I was worried about that. Legitimately, was worried about it because. So mine was the silver PSA 9, and it did $2,000 or 2050, whatever. And the PSA 10 of a blue did $4,000. I want to get the exact number here. But either way, it was a really strong sale. So I was really concerned people were just chilling it to keep up, their stuff.
Yeah. Yep. And we're going to talk about her a little bit later too when we talk about the PSA buyback.
So the blue in a PSA 10 out of 49 did 4,800, and my non-numbered silver PSA 9 did 2050. So I feel like that's a really strong sale then.
Yeah. Just getting it paid for is a victory.
Yeah, because I messaged PC Sports Cards asking about it. I was like, because. Like it still hasn't got sent, but they were like, they paid like basically the day the sale happened, and it was just the funds are waiting because it goes to the authenticator first because of the value of it. But I was like, oh my God, like, and that's not something I'm usually stressing about. I just am like, what am I gonna do with this? Like at this point, like with her situation, like large Caitlin Clark card, like I don't want it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a bunch that I'm going to sit on now. Those will just get put away and collect dust until next year. We'll see what happens with those, but not as big as yours, but some healthy ones.
The volume would definitely go well over that sale though. So
yeah,
because I also have like I have 40 of her cards at PSA right now, like, so I don't even know.
Isn't it crazy though? I'm kind of on the same thing. And again, we're going to talk about this later, but like I just had a PSA order pop, 22 cards, and there was like 15 are her cards. And then I'm looking at other orders, and I probably have another 40 or 50 of her cards that have been sitting at PSA since May and mid-May to the beginning of June. So I don't want
the market still seems there though. I think I'm just gonna sell them. honestly, like because like I don't have anything like huge out there, like because like you
What was it that you just said to me before we pushed the button to go live? That
what
the hobby is
are impatient on. Okay, yes, for sure, for sure. I also I'm like I'm not like I think Caitlin Clark is awesome in her own right, but like I'm not like the largest believer on her for the I'm just not.
All right, and we're not. It seems like the last couple episodes
We always start
with
out
her
with Caitlin Clark.
It's like 14 minutes, so we're not doing that. We're cutting it at 6 minutes.
All right.
Moving on. No more Caitlin talk.
Yeah.
So week 2.
Topic though, but let's.
Yeah, week 2. We're complete in the NFL. We lost my choice for MVP of the year. Now is out. Joe Burrow out for, the next 3 months, probably the season. If they're not making the playoffs, it's going to be, similar to, if they're not making the playoffs, there's no sense for him to come back. So it's going to look like a lot like the last 2 season-ending injuries he's had. Like, do we even trust him now? Do we even think like next year is going to be his year? And do we buy cards when they're dipping down again, when people are just giving up on them? Kind of like Lucy holding the football. I don't know if I'm dating myself or people understand that, that reference, but I mean, we've done this. This is the 3rd time now that he's going to miss a whole season, and just crush his card market.
Turf toe is weird. I'm not going to begin to understand how you get that. Like, I don't understand. I don't even really understand what that is. But more so to like his injury history, they need protection for him. Like, I think that's inevitable. like you spend
fragile. He's fragile, kid. Every other quarterback in the NFL is going and doing the same stuff he's doing and has the same equipment. They have the same equipment, but this guy's out for the whole season every time he gets hit.
I mean, I'm also not someone who's really dabbling in like high-end football cards because the volatility on active football cards is just insane. Like, if I wanted to take a gamble, like buying cards week on week, I just like try to like buy fantasy football stars who like pop off for a few touchdowns a game and then like sell their cards. But because like you get into the quarterbacks and the money gets really quick. Like, it's a lot of money for the cards. Like, even like people's Silver Prism PSA 10s, it's like not cheap cards. And
it's week to week now.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
It's day to day. It's like you could buy a card on Saturday and be like, "Oh, I got this great card." Sunday there's an injury, and but all of a sudden Sunday night or Monday the card is now half price or it's down 30%.
Yeah, so we lost Purdy, Daniels, Burrow. Who else? Like
JJ McCarthy said, "Oh, he's got a minor injury," and then this morning I heard he's out 2 to 4 weeks.
And those are four hobby relevant players, like very hobby relevant players, right? Probably the number one from the 2020 draft class price wise. Yeah, Burrow's the most expensive, I'd say. Not the most accomplished, but the most expensive, right?
Yeah, I would think. I mean, that class that was just so deep for so long. You're starting to look at it now. We got Tua with concussion problems.
Let's not talk about the Dolphins.
We got Burrow that keeps missing seasons. I do have to say,
Herbert looks good.
Herbert looks
good. Back when when we had Tyler on the pods, you guys were like bashing Herbert, and I'm like, I'm not ready to give up on this guy. Do you remember this? Because I was like Harbaugh. I felt like Harbaugh is too good of a coach for that to happen. And then, like, as of 2 weeks in, which say what you want, take that with a grain of salt, the run game doesn't look like anywhere of what they want it, so they're passing the ball, and they have. And Huge is looking like a first-round pick finally. He's catching. He's been really good. Ladd McConkey hasn't been the greatest, but he's there. Like, Herbert has 3 solid options right now to throw to.
Yeah.
And he looks pretty good right now. Probably not enough to go back to his finite being like 1 point whatever million it sold for, but like, he looks good.
Yeah. And I have to share this. So today I'm thinking, Chiefs are 0-2. They're already counted out, and I'm listening to, the different, content in fantasy sports radio and stuff. And I just over and over, that team is trash. They've got nothing left in the tank. They're all done. So, I pull up my FanDuel when I get home. I said, can I put a bet on the Chiefs? It'd be worthwhile to put a bet on the Chiefs making the playoffs. And it was not worthwhile. Like they're so favored, not even for that. I think when you look even to go to the Super Bowl or to win the AFC Championship, they were still up there in the top 4 or 5. There's nobody. Not the betting world is not giving up on them just yet. Maybe everybody else is, but I did, and I want to share. I did put 2 bets in, for because I like to do this early. I'll throw some money on, and I'll pick a bunch of teams to win their divisions. Right? It's never hit, but I have fun doing it.
Do you do a parlay, or are these all separate division winners?
No, all together.
Oh, okay.
Together.
Parlay.
Yeah. So, and it's similar to what we talked about almost.
Tell me you took Tampa though, because that's who I had.
No.
You had Atlanta. Yeah,
no,
Tampa looks really good. Tampa looks really good.
I stayed with the Falcons. So here's the thing. I put a whole thing in, and I'm just going to run through it quick to win the divisions: Bills, Ravens, Colts, Chargers, Eagles, Packers, Falcons, Rams. Right. So it's plus 10,855. Right. If they all win those divisions. And then the only one I made a second bet, the only one I switched out the Chargers and the Chiefs. Just because I'm looking about what it looks like, not because I'm a Chiefs fan, but I'm going through each one. The
odds. What did they shoot the odds to? The Chiefs.
They were right up there. Them and the Chargers were like so close. I don't have the exact numbers, but they were so close.
Well, if you think about it, man, like, all right, the Chiefs. All right, so.
But the Chargers are not favored to go to the Super Bowl or anything. Like the Chiefs and the Chargers to win the division are right there. But
because like
if win the AFC Championship game, the Chargers aren't even on the list.
Like I'm with you though, is because like if you look at it, the Chiefs haven't had their 1 or 2 receiver, however you want to count it, for a game. And I'm not counting, they didn't have Worthy for game 1. It was 3 plays in. He got blown up, right? So, and it's a weird game in Brazil, okay? And they lost by what, 5? It was like 26-21.
Yeah.
So then they followed that up with the Eagles. It's kind of like how everyone's going crazy on the Commanders and Daniels. It's like they won week 1 and the Giants, I don't know if they're a good or a bad team. They're scrappy and they're going to stay in games. And with competent quarterback play, they're like they have good pieces on offense. So like it's kind of similar to that as people are overreacting because then Washington on a short week goes out and loses to the Packers, who like they look like a juggernaut. So it's just overreaction, and it's like I don't even know what are Mahomes. It's like imagine Mahomes' cards go down for some stupid reason, like he's not already like. I don't know. He's probably already a top 5 all-timer.
Well,
right?
I mean, if you watch the 2 games so far this season, he's doing everything himself. I mean, he's out there running.
He's leading the team in rushing.
If he could throw the ball to himself, he'd be the leading receiver. He's the leading rusher, right? He's it's unbelievable. Even that interception in the end zone, late in that game on Sunday that ran it back. But for not having anything and for having all these issues, they're still hanging in the games, right? So from a Chiefs fan, I'm excited on a betting standpoint. And I see Chris Hoge here. He says he'd love to get some parlay picks from Big Ken. There, I started out the first 2 weeks hot. Why? Because pick sixes.
I was
I love that bet.
for a pick six.
Yeah.
I was messaging Chris earlier that we'll have him back pre-basketball to get him on. Maybe we'll have you fire off some blind basketball bets and have his reaction. That would be hilarious. That'd be great. Some NBA parlays. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, we will do that.
You actually did pretty well in the playoffs, if I remember last time for NBA. And I felt so I was so overconfident about my picks, and then Tatum's Achilles, and I just crumbled. So
yeah.
Oh, Achilles, Eckler. It's at the point where you see it happen, and you're like, "Oh, I know what that is."
Yep.
Right?
Immediately. I mean, we're all doctors now. We've been watching this so long. We see the injury. We know exactly what it is.
It's just with the Achilles. It's almost like the same. It's like the same motion every time. It's like they plant. No one's around them on the ground. Back heel, oh my god, and you're like, Achilles done. And for Eckler, he's football old. He's 30 or 31, right? So is that it for him? That's rough for a running back.
And these guys are athletes too. I've had two friends that got up and turned to go, got up off a chair or a couch and turned to go and popped an Achilles, right? So
watching football, going to get another beer. You're saying Achilles.
But yeah, sometimes I get a little nervous. You see some of these injuries that happen to these guys that you're like, oh, how are they gonna? I know they have the best trainers and the best medical staff and everything, for rehabbing and stuff. Man, if I popped an Achilles, it would probably be 2 years before I could be doing anything,
I got a question for you that I heard on the Ringer Fantasy Football podcast today. It's and we can relate it to cards, right? So for the sake of the card market, and you could never get the credit for it, would you, if I could snap my fingers, would you take Joe Burrow's turf toe for 3 months and no one would ever know, but Joe Burrow would get to play and he'd be fine overnight?
Heck no. Joe's a young stud. He'll rebound just fine.
I mean, he's got money in the bank. Joe will be fine. But
I mean, how am I going to stand up at these card shows? I have to be sitting there with my foot up in the air. Wouldn't be pretty.
Yeah, I don't know. That wouldn't be great.
It's more important for me.
Just can't. Well, I take it you don't have any big Joe Burrow cards at the moment, then.
No, I had two.
It may be a different answer if you did.
I had 2 Joe Burrow rookie cards pop at PSA yesterday, and they're already sold. So.
Really?
Yeah, we'll get into that a little later.
Okay, yeah, I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
But I think we have a good topic that you are. I mean, it's not a win for sure, but at one point in time, you invested a lot of money into a quarterback in New England.
I did.
Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac.
I had to dig them out today. The XRC, PSA 10. I even have some base PSA 10s.
Weren't they $2,500 at one point?
$3,000. And you look at the price tags that were on these. There's $75 price tags when they got tossed into the box. But here, my favorite Mac of all.
What is that?
Can you read? It's a Pop 1. Can you read what the grade is? It's a PSA 3.
Wow.
It's a PSA 3. So when they were getting $3,000, I sent these cards, these base that you see here. I sent a bunch out to PSA, and one of the cards that came back was a PSA 3. Which is insane, but it's still a Pop 1. I checked it today, and would you believe it's the lowest grade?
I would believe it's the lowest grade. I would.
There's no 1 or 2, but there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
So are you going to go for the grading rainbow, Ken?
Uh, yeah, this is, we think about it. We just touched base on the 2020 quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
Who have been up and down. Um, and I have to say, as much as I talk down because I think the market dislikes Jalen Hurts, I think he's probably been the most solid throughout the last couple of years. But then we look at 2021, all those quarterbacks that just crashed and burned, and it's Trevor Lawrence is still playing, but we're waiting for that magical season, right, to come from him. 2022 was kind of just a throwaway year.
Let me summarize Trevor Lawrence in a fantasy football scope really quick. I have Brian Thomas Jr. He had 4 catches on 12 targets. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, that's where T-Law's at. Yeah.
And when he was out and Mac Jones was throwing in the ball last year, he was a star.
Yeah, he had like 1,300 yards as a rookie or something.
Yeah. See, there's something with that Mac Jones. Then we have 23 quarterbacks and 24 quarterbacks. We can throw them all together. Like, out of all those quarterbacks, right, going back, so, and I'm not talking about any 25. We only have one playing right now. But we go back to, 2020 to 2024. What quarterback do you want? What quarterback do you think has the most longevity in this league?
I mean, I feel like the easy answer is Hurts because he's already. Should we take him out? Because there's already a floor with him, in my opinion. Like, he's a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP for Philly. Like,
yep.
At some point, like that's going to mean something. So let's take him out of it, and then we're gonna including 2024.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun,
Do you have an answer for that while I'm thinking? Because when I go to think about this, I think about systems.
Yeah, you could think about systems. I want to hope maybe the best one isn't playing yet. I mean, I don't know. I just look around the league and I see, like, Jaden Daniels. We were so big on him this year. He's not. It didn't come out of the gate so well. We talked a few weeks ago about Caleb Williams. Like,
hold up about Daniels. We just talked about that. He started out in a division rivalry that he won. And then he played the Packers, who look like they have the far and away best defense. Like, not close. Like, and
so you're saying your money's on Jaden then?
No, but in that Thursday matchup, I think the sneaky pick, like, Jordan Love is in a very good spot. Very good spot. And that's why I said you're picking systems. If that's how I'm looking at it and picking systems.
I'm not picking systems. I just said pick a player. Who are you taking? Who's your guy? If it's not Hurts, who's your guy? Who do you believe in?
Believe into what? To win?
Yeah. Oh, in the long run.
How are you not picking a system? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Did you? We got
Hooker and Milton. These guys know me well.
What are we? Yeah, we're gonna sit here and pump.
So who's your system? Who are you picking? If you're
Green Bay right now, looks like they're built to win for a while.
Who is it?
Green Bay.
Oh,
they look like they're built to win for a while. All right. Whether it's championships or not, they're going to be deep at least.
Yeah. Do you think their receiving core is as I'm not going to say is as good. Do you think their receiving core is good enough to take them to the Super Bowl?
I think their defense is. I
don't see them beating the Eagles right now. I think the Eagles are the most well-rounded team, and we don't know what injuries are coming.
I think the Eagles are the most well-rounded team, but if we're taking Jalen Hurts out of it because he already has a Super Bowl, like in a Super Bowl MVP, because I feel like that puts him at an advantage. Like, that's the easy answer.
Yeah.
Especially with the price point that you're getting them at compared to the other guys. Like, for sure. If you take that out and you're looking, in my opinion, if you're going to look at systems, you have to look at, like why wouldn't I pick Herbert or Knicks, even though I think they both have good systems where they're at. They're in the division with the Chiefs, and they're in the division with each other. So they're going to eat each other up. Like, that's just going to happen. Yeah. So I think, like, because the NFC North, where everyone thought it was going to be an absolute juggernaut, like, JJ does not look as good as I think, at least I thought he was going to. You could probably say the same. So Tyler nailed that one.
You're drinking the Tyler Kool-Aid.
I mean, he looks pretty right now. Can you pull up the not funny thing real quick?
Which one?
Green Bay never has top wide receivers. There's a guy named Devonta Adams there that's pretty good for a while. And then Greg Jennings and Donald Driver and Jordan.
Yeah, but they're not there anymore.
He said never has top wide receivers.
Oh.
What do you think? I don't
know. Look at Leafy Street Clips says Chiefs are all washed up. They're all done. So you better. I'm hearing that day in and day out, but somebody has to let FanDuel and DraftKings know because they still have them favored to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Well, it's probably all that Taylor Swift money coming in.
Oh yeah, and this is very funny. I feel the same way. Cardboard Collaborative, magically sprained ankle, magically a high ankle sprain. And if you're in the chat, right, you can stand behind this. I put that in the chat. Like that sounds super suspicious because I watched the whole game. I didn't see him twist an ankle. So
I think he'd be playing if he wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
I do, but I get it. It's very convenient. It's very timely. Yeah. That's a really good point by Sports Cards, the hobby, our buddy there. The Packers are a young team with plenty of experience. That's very true. And you don't get that.
Did you hear this thing? They talked about the last 3 Super Bowls the Packers won, and all 3 times the quarterback was 27 years old. And they had just drafted or they just traded for a top defensive player.
Just got to hope he doesn't have a white lighter on him at any point this year. Do you know about that? The 27 Club? It's like all these famous
singers
they died at 27 years old with a white lighter. So Jordan Love, stay clear of that white lighter. Now, Rodgers God knows what Rodgers had. He had ayahuasca, but you never know. There we are.
What did he say? Garrett says JJ finished the game and now he has a sprained ankle. They don't want the media to rip him apart. Let him sit. Yeah, that's right. That's what I think. They just probably took him aside and said, listen, I think this is probably a little much for you.
Yeah. Hold back and watch Carson Wentz play quarterback. That's brilliant.
No, we're gonna work on some things. We're gonna work on reading the defense and all those things. But you know what? We've talked about this. I'm a firm believer that we shouldn't be putting these guys. And I know he's a second year, but he sat out the whole year last year with a knee, with the meniscus repair, whatever he had. I think when you see a guy like Jordan, I think if we would have taken Jordan Love and we would have thrown him in the Green Bay starting when he was drafted, he would be a backup somewhere. He'd be shell-shocked as a backup somewhere. And I think when we look around and we're starting to see, what they're doing with, starting these QBs, fresh out of college, I think they're doing them a disservice. I think they need to go in and, be behind somebody else and learn the system and get a little experience that way.
I mean, and Brady speaks to that regularly. He thinks the best thing is for them to come sit. Like let's just think about this. Like, here's some people who didn't start right away. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, obviously Jordan Love. Then you have Mahomes did not start right away. Jackson Dart is not starting right away.
Josh Allen didn't start right away.
Yeah, he did. And he sucked for 3 years.
He started immediately. He started.
To my knowledge, he started off the gate, and everyone was like coming for his neck.
Oh, I thought they still had that. What's the other quarterback there?
Fitzpatrick?
No. Didn't they draft the guy Peterman or something? Didn't they draft that guy right before they drafted him, like a year before?
That was my first ever sale on Whatnot to Swiddlebug. Was a Nathan Peterman. He was in 2017. A Nathan Peterman, Bills RPA.
Yeah.
Shout out Nathan Peterman.
Did Nate Peterman start the 2018 season and then Josh Allen came in?
I will look really quick. Kill the air while I look for this.
Yeah, well, so I see Homer Sports Cards said Allen or Stafford vaults to number one if either win a Super Bowl. So Stafford did, right? He won a Super Bowl with the Rams. So he has won a Super Bowl.
Josh Allen. He took over in week 2. Peterman did.
Okay.
Peterman started week 1, but I mean, yeah, Josh Allen sat a week, and that's why he's so successful. Good call, Ken.
Yeah, I still think it's amazing how much work they did for him to teach him how to throw a ball. Like they drafted him and brought him in, and then taught him how to throw the ball. It's just says a lot to drafting a player and not the talent.
Look at Brian Daboll now. He's really killing it. In New York, he's brilliant. Yeah.
So Bill says Josh started halfway through, so I think that's wrong, Bill. I think we just found out it was game 2. I would have been on your side, Bill, because that's what I thought too. I thought it was.
I was gonna say, according to Ken, that counts. he sat.
And I wanted to scroll back here because Cardboard Collaborative had said something here, which is interesting. He said he'd say Herbert, but he'll never win. It's whoever can win a Super Bowl. And I think it's right. I think the league has changed around a little bit, over the years. I know every year it's about who can win a Super Bowl, but I think we're bringing in so many young quarterbacks every year, and every time these people are being drafted, what do we hear? Well, 10 years ago, nobody would have drafted this kid, but we're just drafting any quarterback and hoping that we can end up with a Brock Purdy, or we're just taking them and putting them in. Then this year was really a funny draft, like with Shedeur Sanders, that waited all the way, like they didn't take him, they're super late. And I think in a normal year, he would have been a guy they would have taken way up front in the first round, or even early second round, and Cleveland would have been trying to push him onto the field already to get him going.
Did you see what came out about him recently? Was about the Ravens wanted to take him earlier, I guess, and he did not like the. It seems like it was pretty like a verified. I saw it like posted several places that weren't like some random account on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't blame him if he didn't want to go play behind Lamar.
That's
a Jordan Love
experience. He's not even running the scout team in Cleveland, so you can't tell me it wouldn't be better than that.
Yeah, it could be the Jordan Love experience. 4 years
seems to be working out for him. All right.
Well, yeah.
He got paid a bunch. He's winning.
Even I don't know, terrible. What's his name? Who sat in Green Bay behind Brett Favre before he got
Rodgers.
Yeah, Rodgers. He sat for how long? How many years did he sit behind?
I think it was the same as like 3 years.
Yeah. So
like I just think with that too is like another thing people kind of forget is like, oh, the Packers lost in the playoffs last year. Yeah, but they were decimated. Like they just ran out of steam and were like the whole team was limping off the field essentially.
Yeah.
And if they stayed healthy, they could match up with anyone. And they've stayed healthy so far, and they added Micah Parsons, who may be the best defender in the league. So like, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, and you never know. You never know what's going to happen week to week in the NFL. Come the end of the season, playoffs, you don't know who's going to be hurt. Who's going to have a season-ending injury. Who's been on the bench or on the practice squad that may come out and be an amazing player, or dump your whole fab on 1 week on a player that all of a sudden came out of nowhere. So. You have no idea, but it's nice to be able to talk about it, and being in the doing fantasy. It's like you're in the weeds with these players. Like you have to go out and systems, week to week systems, and there's so many other things than just picking out the players. So sometimes I feel like they call us a fantasy manager, and a lot of times I feel like a manager. I feel like I'm putting that kind of work in, and not getting paid for it.
That's why we do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think long story short, right about now, I think Jordan Love would be the guy from in those parameters without Jalen Hurts. Jordan Love would be the guy, and you may be right that they don't beat the Eagles, but if anyone did, I'd probably pick them to do it.
Yeah, here's the thing with the Eagles. This tush push thing is really game changing. I mean, they need 3 yards, and they'll just do it 3 times in a row because they know they're getting a yard or two every time they do it.
What's Homer saying?
I stand by my comment with 75K career passing yards and a second. Stafford would be top active. Okay, so he's standing with Stafford.
Sure, yeah. Other than we were talking about 2000 to 2024.
Hey, Homer, I'm with you because on my FanDuel, I picked the Rams to win the West, right?
The Rams look good, also, but like Stafford is an 09 guy.
Yeah, he's an OG.
He's awesome, man. If he wasn't in Detroit and he was on another team for all those years, he may have had more.
Yeah, well, look at him in Detroit, like he's throwing the ball to Megatron, right?
And then they had scarecrows on defense.
Yeah, that usually happens, or that happens throughout. They invest all that money on one end and not the other, right? That's why I like to stick to my my fantasy team called No D for KC. I got all the money wrapped up in one guy. So, all right. So I touched on it before. I'm going to talk about a little bit now, that the PSA buyback, right? So I know everybody knows about it and everybody's heard about it, but I took advantage of it. So I just had a PSA order pop 22 cards yesterday, and they say offers are available. So a couple of things I want to talk about the offers. If you have 2 identical cards with 2 identical grades and you want to get that, unless somebody else can tell me when you select on one to accept their offer, if you go to the second one, they automatically say, oh, that offer's not available. Refresh for your new offer. And that offer is always less than what it was if you had 2 identical cards. For instance, I had 2 Joe Burrow, Don Russ rated rookie, paper rated rookies that I digging through a value box at some show. I came across them, and I sent them in for grading. They both gemmed. That order just popped. That was on this one here. So the interesting thing I want to talk about is it looks like they're basing it on the last 2 or 3 sales, and they're also basing it the card ladder. It also says what card ladder's value is on it when you're looking at it. So I think it's kind of a excuse me, twofold.
Like shout out to Chris Hoge.
Yes. They're basing it on the last few sales, and then they're also looking at what card ladder values that card at. So on my Caitlin Clark cards, on a few of them, there happened to be one sale in the last 3 that was much higher than the other 2. And it felt like it took what the average sale would have been on some of those cards. Now, there were 2 PSA 10 cards. Again, they were identical cards. They were just inserts. I think there were fireworks inserts. But it just happened that there was one higher sale with the 2 lower sales. So when I saw these coming up, I thought to myself, I'm not going to accept anything here. Like, why would I accept anything? But then when I started comparing the prices, and I thought to myself, if I had this card in my hand at a card show and somebody offered me that, I would accept it. Like, so why wouldn't I just take it right here? Because I have no idea. I mean, WNBA, they're in the playoffs now, and it's going away. So why wouldn't I? And believe it or not, I did the buyback. I sold back 8 cards to them, and I felt the value when I looked out the percentages on it. I felt it was about 91% that I was getting on those cards, which to me was just like perfect. I'll take that. My grading cost on that order was like $490. I sold them back 500 and something dollars in, and I'll get the rest of the cards back from my order. So to me, it just felt like it was almost a win-win in that case because it was an instant sale. It wasn't I'm going to put the card out there and it was an absolute like we'll lock it in right this moment.
So you felt like doing, I mean, that's good because the instant offers, but like, I agree with you because then like if you really start breaking it down, it's like, how much would it have cost me to sell this card?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, gas, time, table costs, food, and you just start putting it in. It's like, wow, this is
And some cards, if there's no sales on them, they won't even put out an offer.
right.
Even though,
which is understandable because they have to have their algorithm for. Because I'm pretty sure they're making the repacks and stuff, so it's just like it makes sense.
Yeah, so like an Aussie Fud, the Connecticut, the Yukon NIL, auto to 99, PSA 9, no offer. We could care less on that, right? A Sarah Strong, auto. On something on Bowman U, no offer on that either. We could care less because they're cards that either don't have sales, or very low sales. So it's maybe not, and other ones I felt they weren't fair. There were cards they put up a price and I was like, are you kidding me? Like this card right now is selling at like $250 and the offer was like $160. And I'm like, I don't even understand. I don't know how they came to that on that card, but these other cards, they were paying such a high percentage. So, I think some cards, it was worthwhile. I was excited to do it. I was happy to do it. Sometimes I look at it, I get annoyed. Why am I being forced to look at that? And then I go through, I'm like, oh, what a waste of time. This particular time I said, hey, this was pretty good. This felt like a win-win for me.
I think you bring up a great point of, especially the way, like, I don't know, maybe society looks at things. Everything has to be black or white, right? Like, why can't it just be gray? Like, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not worth your while. So make your decisions accordingly. That's it, right? Like, not everything has to be just, oh, this is awesome or oh, this is bad. But that's what it feels like with a lot of this stuff, is that everything's great or everything's bad, when in reality, that's probably not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. And then, because then save your time and efforts too. It's like, let me get my cash quick. It's like, they graded, I'll take my money now, and then we'll keep it moving.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we're charging you for your grading. Okay, we're depositing this money in your bank account tomorrow. I'm like, okay, perfect. Worked out fine for me. And this is the first time I did that. Usually I'm getting all these cards back and I'm thinking to myself, when am I going to sell them? And especially those, like a lot, I think out of that 8, I think 5 were Caitlin Clark cards, right? Which I'm probably not putting any of those in my case anytime soon. So they would sit somewhere. So I was happy to be able to move them at somewhat of a decent price still.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not the same as the grade to consignment, but that's part of what I've really enjoyed about that whole thing, is that, like, it's just so like the back end of, like, great, you gemmed the card, great, you found the card, you gemmed it, you got it back, now you have to go sell it, and it's just like not having to worry or think about that and just letting it happen is like, I love it.
Yeah. And they also give you the option too to put their card up for sale.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, you could vault it, but you could sell it through them too. And they kind of, I mean, I guess they're saying that, we'll have more eyes looking at your card if you sell it through us versus if, you put it up on yourself on eBay or whatever, like going through a consignor, that type of thing. But it's all a time consuming, right? You've got to let the 7-day, the 10-day, you need it to run. And, you don't know who's getting hurt and how that's going to affect that sale. And we hear all the time, people put a card up and then it sells, and then that night, Sunday night, the player gets hurt, and then the card never gets paid for, right?
I
And you
mean,
got to
sure, but then like just playing devil's advocate there is like, okay, so you don't do that. You have the card shipped back to you, and then you got to set up at a show with it in your case, and you're still taking time to, maybe it's quicker, maybe it's longer. I don't know, but it's still time. Like,
I mean, I think there's certain cards like for the most part, like I'm grading cards for down the road. That usually it's a few months away of everything I'm grading. It just turns out that PSA got super slow this past year, and stuff that I putting in May and June, I'm just getting back. I just got that order now. I still have 5 more orders that I'm waiting. They're all in assembly right now. So, it's just that weird time of year that I was waiting for all these cards, hoping to have them in July or August, and here it is September, and probably be October before I get these cards. So it's kind of a weird time where now I've got cards that I wanted to sell a month or two ago, and now they're coming a month later. It's like, do I even sell it now, or how do I sell it? Am I better off just consigning it, or if they'll make a good offer, sell it back to them, because I just got put behind the 8 ball as far as timing of getting these orders back.
Yeah. And that makes me think about the alternative we've talked about. We talked about, I think it was last week or the week before, about Beckett. I've continued to send cards to Beckett when I feel it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say about Beckett, though, because I've created a TikTok account. TikTok on the line. Yeah, I'm generations older than I am. I created a TikTok account and just mess around with some like reels and stuff. And the reel that I had that's blown, not for a lot of people, but for a new account with not a lot of followers, blew up, was I posted the Anthony Edwards BGS 9.5 sale. And boy, it got some interesting comments, because in the screenshot I took, there was the card ladder image of my sale at $750 and the PSA 9 at $246. And people started pointing out to me the $246 was an auction and mine was the best offer, which is valid. And there's something to that. But what I would say, if like, you got to know how to sell your cards then. Like, if you know, for example, that a BGS 9.5 may not appeal to the audience like a PSA 9 or a PSA 10 due to the, like, I guess the variance within the 9.5 with what it could be, then leaving it up for a best offer may be smarter to do than running it at an auction, because you don't know.
I mean, you go to auction, it's going to sell. You just don't know what it's going to sell for. When you go to a best offer, it may not sell because your price may be too high, or you're not willing to accept the low ball offers that are coming once you put a best offer up on a liquid card or a good looking card.
Well, let me be honest with this card. I thought I was going to get like $450 for the BGS 9.5. That's what I thought. So then I just had PC listed at 1,000 and accept offers, and one was sent $750, and I texted our group chat like, hey, should I take this? Like, and then shout out Billy the Kid. He was like, take it and run. And then yeah, I did. But that's another thing with the BGS cards, is there is value there, but also I think, like, I don't know, running them at auction. I'm sure I'll run some at auction, so I'll get to talk about that. But like, I don't know how well that would do at auction compared to me doing it how I did.
Yeah.
But I love posting the rage bait TikTok and like just commenting back. I was like, they were like, oh, faulty sale to best offer. I was like, money in my bank account. That's not faulty. I'm loving it, man. It's
you're making best friends over there on
it's
TikTok.
Fantastic. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's great. And then, the first clip I posted was of me comparing Caitlin Clark to Zion Williamson. So that was
fun. That one. That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it. So
do you think, and I often think of this, do you think when you put like a card out there that somebody's going to want, like your Anthony Edwards or just a good card. Um, that if you put it like you were saying, I think I might get 450, but I told them to put it at 1,000, right? And so do you think putting that up at 1,000, somebody really wants that card? They'll say that they think it's 450, but they're like, oh, I'm not going to offer 450, and maybe the settings on there would automatically decline 450. But do you think that forces people to reconsider and say, oh, okay, so maybe this card is $1,000 card, so 750, will be a good price to pay on it? Do you think by you putting that card up higher, it changes people's minds or do you think somebody's just like, I gotta have that card and I'm willing to just to do what it takes to get it?
So I priced it aggressively for sure. I probably thought about what I would get for it conservatively because I like to think about selling things in like a pessimist. Like a pessimist. Like I like to think, oh, I'm not going to get all that much. Like I just to keep operating. That's how I always keep trying to think. So the last sale was like 1,200 in the 10, and then before that was like 997. I don't know why I still remember that, but I was like, okay, it's below the PSA 10 sale, and there's nothing else really available of this card. In the BGS 9.5, it was a min gem, so meaning there was 3 9.5s and 1 9. But it was also the only gem mint. It was the highest graded from Beckett still. So I was like, I'll price it aggressively, and my plan was if it didn't sell for like a week, I was then just gonna auction it. But I gotta offer like 2 days in or a day in.
Yeah, so that's good. That's solid. Day or two in, that's usually, if you're going to sell it, I think you're going to sell it within the first day or two, or if it's going to sit there, it's going to sell when there's some hype in the market over a player.
That's actually a great point, and I want to give a shout out to Special One Cards because he specifically told me this when I like early on when I first met him like years ago, and we're talking about eBay and stuff. And he's like, the first offer is usually going to be the best one, and I kind of thought he was full of crap for a while, but then over time, I saw it happen again and again and again. And you know about this selling at shows. You got to execute on the sale sometimes. Because I was like hesitant, like, oh, 750, should I counter back? But then, like, what if that 750 was like, I feel like, if he takes it, he takes it. If not, that's my best. And I think that happens a lot more than we think. Like, oh, he's trying to lowball me or something. Like,
but you have to know what you're willing to accept on a card. When I show up at a show, and this is happening a lot now. Like, I price my cards out, and I say to each card, I know this is what I'll accept on that card, but I'm not telling people that. When people say, what's the best you do? I'll say, what's the most you'll pay? Well, what do you want for that card? Well, you see my price. We get into this game, like, make an offer on the card, right? So I'm going to just throw numbers out. I got 150 on it. I say in my mind, I would take 130 for it. I'd take 125 for it. That's my bottom line, right? And then somebody will say, oh, will you take 130 for it? And I say, yes. I'm not going to counter back and say 140 because that's $5 more than what my low was. And I say, yes. And then they get shocked and they're like, well, you take 120 for it. I'm like,
that's wild. I would like, this is why I can't set up at shows because are your grandchildren watching?
It's a family show.
I would tell them to flock off right away because like that would drive me nuts. This is why I can't go spend time with people at these card shows because they act like idiots. How do you like? I had that happen to me a while ago on like a low end card, and it's not the money that's not getting transacted. It's like actually if it's the cheaper the card and they go back on it, the worse because it's like really. Like, so your word means nothing, and you're just gonna like go back. I hate that.
It's a game.
My blood's boiling now hearing you say that.
Yeah, it's a game to people, and it's like, and sometimes I say to them, I said, "Did you really want me to come back and say 140? Like, did you not accept? Did you not expect to buy the card? Did you expect me to come back and say 140 and be like, no, I'm done? And I know how it works. I know how the negotiation works. But you know what? I don't need to play all the games. If you come out and you make an offer within the price that I'm willing to accept for the card, I'm just going to say yes. I'm not going to try to get that extra $5 or $10 out of you. Yeah, I can do that. Most people are like, that's awesome. They'll shake your hand. But there are people that they get surprised. They're like, oh, you will? Oh, well, will you take 120? Will you take one? And I'm like, no, it's 130 now. That's it. That's my bottom's not 125. Now my bottom's 130. I'm not going. I had a kid that was coming to me. He had a Arch Manning card he wanted to sell. The last card this is sold at, I think it was like 538, right? If I remember, that was the exact price on it, right? So he came around.
Was this weekend?
Yep, okay. Yep. He came around and I said, look, there was only one sale on this card. I explained the whole thing out. I said, I'm willing to give you 380 for that card. That's it. And he says, well, can you do 420? No. I said, I am at 380. He left. He was gone for an hour. I saw him a few times. He's trying to sell this card all around the show. And then he comes back and he says, will you do 400? I said, no, I'll do 300 now. Well, you just said 380. I said, well, that's before you shopped it all the way around the room and tried to get more than that, and you didn't get it. And he's like, well, I'm going to think about it. I said, if you come back, it's 250. Like, yeah, I'm going the other way. If you come back again with the car,
because that means he's not able to get that number elsewhere. And so that's different than like coming up offering and then like, because like once you leave, unless it's like, hey, that's my standing offer, unless that's like, said, then the offer was in the moment. It's not like not everything's a standing offer.
Yeah, well, there's nothing in writing here, no. But and he had, I don't know who, he had another kid with him. I don't know if it's his brother, his friend, or whatever, who was convincing him, telling the kid, like, he says, well, the last sale was there. I'm like, it's one sale. There was one sale on this card. There's 99 of these cards. That was the only sale. There's no other sale on the card, and that sale was before the season started.
When he lost,
where there was a lot more hype on him than after the season started.
And he took a dip.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I felt I was offering him strong, and then he went around the room and realized, I think people were probably less than, what I was offering him on the card.
Oh, can you pull up Kamikaze Sports Cards?
Yeah. Never looked up a comp myself. If it passes the eyeball test, I buy.
Dude, like, shout out to you, because like I've been so off on some stuff. Like there's been overall, I feel like I'm pretty good about guessing values and stuff, but like there's been times that like, especially with like 90 stuff, I'll just be off by thousands of dollars, and it's like either way. Like I bought this really cool collection, basically all 90s basketball, and there's been cards I'm like, oh, what is this? And it's worth 10 times what I would have guessed, or the other way. I'm like, oh, this is amazing, and it's worth $4, $1, and I'm like, how? So I couldn't. I just couldn't. Like, yeah. But good for you.
Yeah. So look, we're getting on to the hour, and I know you wanted to share with us your whatnot recap, how well that went last Wednesday.
So in just around 2 hours, I sold 130 cards, which I felt like was pretty good to start out. And I also realized after conversations from several people that I basically messed up the shipping costs. So, because you supported me, you bought like a Juju Watkins like first Bowman, right?
Yeah.
How much did that card? What was the shipping on that? Was it like outrageous?
It was. I bought it for $3, and it was like 8 something.
Oh my Lord! Yeah,
that was the charge.
So
see what I get for supporting my friends.
Yeah. I guess what it was is I put the weight on the cards at the wrong weight. I put it at 4 to 7 ounces versus 1 to 3. So
that could have been a 30, 37 or a 52. I don't know how much a stamp costs now. Could have just been a stamp.
So I messed up. But overall, it went really good. There were some people in the room, and I had fun. Did I get smoked on some cards? Probably, but it's stuff I'm literally into for nothing, and I'm literally just running through it, like just running through it at $1, playing cool music, hanging out with my cousin. We're talking sports, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun just interacting with people. Oh, and also, I'm a Celtics fan, and Parquet Sports was in there, and I kept calling him Parquet. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me, but dude.
You were listening. I had it on speaker. And Sherry's like, will you just message him and tell him she's saying his name wrong?
I'm so happy I didn't know till after, because I would have been so embarrassed. Because for some reason, it sounds even worse, but I'm gonna say it now. For some reason, I thought Parquet was gonna be Queette, and then Zwiddlebug was the one who told me, and he's like, "No, you idiot, that would have been Parquet." so it was. Other than that, though, man, it was really fun, and I'm doing it again tomorrow. I think I scheduled a show for tomorrow. I think it's
6 o'clock, right?
6, yeah. I think I have it for 6. I wasn't sure if it's 6 or 6:30. I think I have
it
at 6.
I was notified.
Cool. And I'm literally doing the same thing, and I got a bunch more cool cards. I'm just gonna run them at $1 with better shipping this time. So
Good.
I'm gonna put on the first class mail, so then it's hopefully it could be cheaper for everyone. So other than it was a good time. Can't wait to keep doing it.
Good. I have 2 questions for two people that are in the chat. First, Kamikaze Sports Cards. Are you just a collector? I see you said you buy the low end raw from Comp C. Are you just a collector on that? And Ziggy, why you change your name again? Now you're the angry sports card dad? What happened? Do we need counseling? Do we need to set up a little counseling session for you?
Oh, and Ken, I'm not usually the one who gets to do this. So I did buy a card for True PC, like forever not going anywhere, and I have another one coming in that I wanted to tell you about. And the thing about it is I think I found something that I enjoy that I feel like a lot of people don't really give credit to. And something that I never understood was like, why wouldn't certain years for players matter more if they won like a championship or something? And you know how like that doesn't usually ever bring anything? Well, I enjoy it. So I got this. This is a 2004 when Sox broke the curse the Bambino. Gold refractor of Pedro.
Nice.
And I have the David Ortiz coming in the mail,
I see it's graded. What's it graded to?
It's a 10.
10. Nice.
Yep, and I have the David Ortiz in a 10 coming in too. So
now it's the beginning of a new PC. Yeah,
but the thing is, so like this is just the best thing I could think of for this is like stacking slabs. Brett, he's a psycho and just goes for every black and gold Colts card you can have. Like there are guys on that Red Sox team I forgot were on the team, and I couldn't care about. Like I could care less about. But I'm just going for my guys on those Red Sox teams in the World Series year. So like I'll have Pedro, David Ortiz, and then I gotta find the Manny Ramirez in a PSA 10, and then I'll be happy with that, and I'll keep it moving. Like I'm not just gonna go get Doug Mankiewicz just to get him. Like I'm not going to do that. Like that just sounds more stressful than enjoying for me. Like I'm not going to do that. But I do like my guys from the teams. What was that?
Keep it fun.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm doing, and it's awesome. And I'm just gonna keep it going. So yeah.
So he said 5,500 cards on Comp C at $1,000. Oh, so you sell them on Comp C? Okay. All right, I get that. And Ziggy said this is a different account.
It's his burner. It's his Kevin Durant account.
It's fine. He doesn't need any content.
It's like I have my I had a burner whatnot account, so you'll never know who I was.
All right, kid. Good episode.
I'll say so.
I'm not sure when my episode is coming out. If it's going to be Sunday, Monday. I have some family stuff going on over the weekend, so I'm not sure when I'm going to get to that episode. But if you're subscribed for my regular sports cards one, you will see. I'll drop it at some point. I just don't know when it will come. Could even come early. Who knows? Maybe even come Saturday.
Oh, and I want to ask a question for the listeners, preferably that do soccer. So I have this 1-of-1 Dennis Bergkamp. It's a match worn Nike swoosh, and I'm trying to figure out where the best place to sell it is. I'm kind of between Golden and Fanatics, and the reasoning for that is I want it to be a card that has extended bidding. I did just because I feel like with this card, so a little just really quick, he doesn't have any Nike swoosh sales whatsoever, and he doesn't have a lot of match worn stuff. So I feel like it's pretty unique, and having that extended bidding could maybe get people to fight for it a little bit. I don't know how true that is, or if I'm just thinking that. But if any listeners out there do soccer and have some sort of idea of best place to go with it, hit me up. That'd be great.
Is it too early?
What, to sell it?
Yeah.
No. He's a legend. He's not playing. He's a legend.
So it's that we're not worried about
no
World Cup.
No.
Yeah. So good. All right. Anything else before we say goodnight?
No, I'm gonna go to bed.
Good. All right. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank everyone for listening. Please like, please subscribe, and we will be back next week with a brand new episode.
See you next Tuesday.
We'll see you next Tuesday.